Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Victor Molero, the production designer on the outstanding limited series A Gentleman in Moscow, which you can watch now on Paramount Plus with Showtime. Victor, the sets on this show are just absolutely incredible. It's an expansive undertaking, it seems. So I guess just overall, like when you were approached for this project, like where do you start? Like what was your first thoughts on like how to like pull this whole thing off, basically?
It was the first time when the producer, my agent, called me about this project. I didn't know the book, and I was very when I read the book, I really want to do this. You have many opportunities to recreate this kind of past in a story in Bolshevik time, Russia. It was really an opportunity for a designer. So it was. But when I arrived to the project, the producer was thinking that maybe we will find a location to do that hotel in the north of England. So, but I had the experience to work there in that area before, and I knew that that will never happen because it's a hotel in beginning 20th century. It was impossible. So I said, we need to build it. We need to recreate this. And so the problem it was all the deal was closed, and the timing was really tight. So we were in very rush. I do the research in 10 days, and I think I used another 10 days to design because the construction was timing for construction was very, very tight. So it was really stressful, but we did it. We did it. And yeah, it was hard, but very experiencing, I would say. I always say that the real Metropol Hotel in Moscow was built in 5 years, and we built this set in 5 months. It's just like, but it
Yeah.
was experience. It was great.
Oh my God, I can't just hearing you say I can't even believe that because again, watching the show, it looks like this was it took years to build this, or at least like I mean, it's so elaborate and like I just what you're saying there, I guess in terms of the research and obviously reading the book too, like how much like how much are you like using that as like from the book? Like are you like marking things that you're like, oh, this will look good, or like how'd you kind of like approach that aspect of it, or are you kind of just like using that as a jumping off point, maybe?
The funny thing, because we had this conversation about the way to be too real with the real Metropole. We, of course, the story, the book is a tale, and Amo is really describe everything very in detail, and it's amazing how it speak about. If you have to read the book, it's so rich and so special. So I knew that from the beginning, I will need to use many ornament element to create that kind of richness of that period, because I think in the story, in the book, it's more important the journey of the count that you need to create to I needed to treat the space and the design as a part of the tale. The hotel is a companion of the count, so we need to put that together. So it wasn't more important it is more important the story than the accurate of the period, to be very accurate. So and in the hotel, it was really important to have the past, the present, and the future of the count. So I put together a different style, like the imperial past of the imperial style that was really a thing in Russia and at that time, and of course the avant-garde that it was it's true that at that time it was really important in Moscow as well, like, Art Nouveau, Deco. So I put all these elements together in a very brave way, I will say, to try to create that kind of element that is not talking about the past of the count. It's talking about what is coming, for what is waiting, and So my intention in the design was to create the wall or the companion, the friend that was that cage for the count.
Yeah, it is like his longest relationship, right? Is the hotel.
Yeah,
So it's like it really does work.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely. It's another car. It's really a stereotype to say this, that is like another character, but in this case, it's completely another character. It's like in The Shining, for example, you know, the hotel, or it's completely it was really a challenge in that way, because I think it was really important to create the element that was crucial to tell the story of the count. For example, one of the things that I feel really proud is I create this kind of, in the lobby, I create this bench. That is because for me, the lobby, when I was thinking how to create a lobby in a hotel, is like an station, you know, people going in and out all the time, and the gown is there and is waiting for something, you know. So I thought it came to me, that image of the count waiting in that bench for what will happen with his life. And that is an element that I add. You know, is you try to play with this kind of element to the space to give layer to the story and the character.
With the terms of like the story, like we're talking about too, obviously it takes place over such a long amount of time, right? 50 years or maybe at least. Are you, so in terms of like the production design and like the sets and stuff, are you how did you go about like aging the sets like appropriately to show like wear and tear and stuff like that? And how much did you have to like really keep track of what was going on? I guess I'm sure I think they shot mostly chronologically, right? At least in the story. But like how did you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, we should because it was important, you know, for
right.
the character, for the actor to do all the, you know, the age and everything. And of course, as well, you know, we work very close with my set tech, Usal Smither, that she's very talented, and we decide. It was difficult, you know, because we have many conversations about to do that in the hotel, and we age, for example, all the carpets, because we create all the carpet. We have an amazing designer doing carpets and designing all this Art Nouveau or more imperial, depending of the moment. But for example, I think the more important decision was to change the lamps, because I think the lamp was the best way to fill the process of the change of the time at that time. Um, and yeah, of course, you know, telephones, all the props, it was changing, you know, and the food was another thing that very important. We have someone very working with that, with the food and how it was changing over the time, over this different period, you know, the Second World War and all that kind. But the book is so deep in detail that we need to be faithful to that, so that we work a lot and very hard about to try to get that in the series as well.
Yeah. Do you have you mentioned like the lobby. There's I feel like I could go through the whole hotel because it just there's so many great rooms and all these different things. But I'm like, I guess I was like, I love the kitchen. I feel like that whole set is so great and like just a lot of great emotional stuff happens. And they're just like, I just think that's a really evocative set. And like the restaurant too. I guess how'd you kind of like approach those and like kind of like make those details so right?
Yeah, one of the things is true, because we build more of the is handcraft work. You know, most of the build of the set are built, but some of them, for example, were location. You know, because we couldn't do the whole thing, because even we couldn't have the time to build everything. But a few of them, like for example, the kitchen was a location,
Okay.
wasn't a set. We found this location in a manor house close to Manchester, and it was we dressed the whole kitchen in the way that, and it was, yeah, it was the good thing. That another challenge that we did was to put all the different location on the build, to create the geography of the space and do it believable, you know, that the audience will believe that it was completely a whole hotel with that kind of dimension. Because, you know, other thing that was really important is to create a scale, because in Russia, all this kind of building and avenue are huge, you know, so they have a lot of, it's like in your country, in the States, you know, in Europe, we have a kind of lack of a space, you
Mhm.
know, in London, Madrid, or Paris is really different. The avenue are smaller. We have, so I wanted to be faithful to that kind of concept. Russia is huge, and to have the feeling that that cage for the count was with many there is a phrase very nice in the book that say door behind doors and room behind rooms. So to have that kind of labyrinth feeling about the space was really crucial for me, and to create a very cinematic space that the camera department and the director could play like a, like, yeah, like a, yeah, to use that as something that camera will give you that feeling, and the audience will enjoy and not get bored with that was one of the main challenges as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a success. Challenge accept. Succeeded, I guess, or because it works really great. You mentioned like the room behind the room. Also, like, I mean, that's like kind of like literally for the count, right? His room, and then you have like the side, like the other room. I love that set too. I think
Second
it's
row.
great. Yeah, it is really
Yeah,
incredible.
that was really, it's funny because it's really described very well in the book how he arrived first time to the attic room. His when he's going to be like his prison in a way. And I found 4 years ago I did a project. I did a shoot a project in Liverpool, and I found this location that was an old building with this kind of a stair that was looking very dramatic. And I, when I was reading the book, I thought on that location, and my brain took me there. I said, we need to use this one, and it's really cool because we built, of course, the attic and the secret room, and I wanted. It was very difficult to design that because I wanted to feel that is for. It's like, when you are in isolation, you need to face, or it's like the story is quite close to something that happened some years ago. We have been isolated for the pandemic, and you can have to choice, or to grieve or to grow. And I think that for the count is clear, he grow. So I need to feel that space was something. Space normally have memory, and I wanted to design it in a way that there was something to develop his new life and his growing as a, he's aristocrat and he's like birthright person, but in a way he need to feel he becoming a proper man, that in all the stories. So to create an environment for him that would give us this kind of layer. For example, I put a mural on the with different layers on the walls to create that kind of place that give you different, more depth than. And for the second room, the same. It was like he discovered the room, and for him, it's the way that he liked to read, and he liked to enjoy his love for culture, and it was really special to design that spaces.
Yeah, it's really great, and I love like, the way it evolves. Like you're saying, like it evolves with him, right? As he's growing, like the room is like changing throughout, right? And like you're kind of like it feels more of a home, and
That's
stuff.
the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you need to give that companion to the character, and I think that's the biggest challenge when you are designing something. You are creating that layers that sometimes audience will get it and sometimes not, but I think must be there because it make everything more interesting and more. And that's for me is to do a design or something. You are giving that chance to add more information to the story.
Yeah,
For
you
me,
meant
for me, the story is key.
yeah, and I think like especially in this, like these two, the production, the story, and it's like this, totally connected. You mentioned all these challenges. I guess like what are you like, and the lobby and all these things. I guess like what was the for you like what do you walk away from this like feeling like most like the best success you had, or like what you were like, oh man, I'm like this was it the whole experience, or like was there a specific thing that you're like, I'm so glad we got this right?
Uh, I think there was a really special moment, and it was when Amon told the writer came to visit us when we were in the first week of the shoot, and when he arrived it was really huge set for the lobby and the piazza, the restaurant, and when he arrived and he looked around, to see his face was, I think, more the most special moment in my career, because he had been. Well, I spent that day with him, and he was doing the book during 5 years of his life, and to see someone that had been creating and working in that story for 5 years, and suddenly he see there what he had in his mind, and we develop in that way. So it was really special moment. Because at the time he was our father in a way, the one that created the whole thing. So it was really special moment. If I'm very
That's
nice.
awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. It's an incredible job you did on this show. Gentlemen in Moscow, you watch the episodes on Paramount Plus with Showtime. Victor Molero, production designer for the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank you.